Back to your voice, your vote now. Election officials working hard to make sure every vote is counted. And this morning, some races still just too close to call, but they could have a huge impact on our state and our country. Joining us this morning, as you can see, political polling expert Paul Bentz back with us again after a busy day yesterday. So thank you for being with us. I want to jump right in here. What are your initial thoughts about the results coming in across Arizona and really the country this morning?
I think it's a big day for Arizona. We saw a pretty significant shift within Maricopa County going blue, a lot more Democrats turning out and some sizable shifts in some of those races. However, you look in some of the other spots throughout rural Arizona, they stayed fairly red, and some races that we thought were going to be close were not quite as close as they ended up going to be.
Yeah, so the Associated Press has called Arizona for Joe Biden, as you know by now. Our governor wants to wait until all of the votes are counted. Do you think that any of the remaining ballots may change the outcome?
I think there's at least 400,000 ballots left to be counted. There might be even a little bit more than that. But President Trump would have to win 62% of all remaining ballots for him to even tie the score at this time. Martha McSally would have to win 68% of all remaining votes. Now, what they're looking at there, that just doesn't seem very likely, which is why they declared Biden the winner in Arizona.
Okay, I see, because some people felt that that was very early in the night to be making that call with so many ballots still left to be counted. Okay, let's talk about the Senate race. Mark Kelly going to be joining Senator Kyrsten Sinema in Washington now. What is the significance here of having Arizona represented by two Democratic senators? What do you think led to this political shift?
Well, it's going to be the first time since 1952 that Arizona is going to have two Democratic senators. So it definitely has been a lot of years, almost 70 since it's happened for our state. I do think it speaks to some changing demographics and the power of Maricopa County, but also speaks to both of our senators taking more of an independent approach to appealing to the electorate. Mark Kelly has to run again in 2 years. So the question is, what issues is he going to address? I think he talked a little bit about that last night with immigration, healthcare, and some other things in his wide-ranging speech. So we'll see. He's on the clock now because he's got to run again in 2022.
Yeah, and we know McSally is not calling this one done yet either. Still wants more votes to be counted, as there are still votes left here now. So let's get to another key race right now, Paul. The watch for Congressional District 6. We're talking the race with Harold Tiperneny and David Schweikart here. Very close still right now. Schweikart serving in this district for a while now, since 2011. So who do you think is going to end up walking away the winner of this one?
Well, that's a really competitive race, and it comes down to what do the late ballots look like. You saw a pretty significant shift between the early votes and what those folks look like, and then what all the election day votes. The election day votes across the country and across the state went very red. So what do those late drop-offs, what do those remaining ballots look like? And that's going to be one that I think we're going to have to wait till every vote is counted.
All right, we do see Democrats winning the federal races in our state, but Republicans, to your point a little bit earlier, appear to be maintaining the majority on the state legislative side here. So what do you think Arizonans are split across the ballot with? Why do you think that is?
At the moment, it looks like Democrats are going to pick up one seat in the Arizona State Senate. They have a chance at another one, depending on how some of these late ballots arrive, sort of similar to Congressional District 6 in that way. Interestingly enough, Republicans gained a seat in the House and lost a seat in another spot. So it's a net zero at the moment. But there's two really close races in LD 21 and LD 6 that are both determined by less than a couple hundred votes right now. One in sort of a rural area that I expect to go more red, and one that I think in a metro part that might have a chance of going blue. So we may end up just exactly where we are right now.
Okay, I think everyone would hope that things could wrap up in a nice little bow, right? But the truth is that we may see some challenges here. So in what states or counties do you think we could anticipate any legal challenges to the results?
I think that's up to the lawyers for the campaigns to decide, but I think Maricopa County being more than 60% of the votes is probably the most likely to take place, and maybe some of the rural areas where they don't have as sophisticated of a counting mechanism there. But I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is remembering that every vote matters, every vote counts. We got to let the process take place, just like we're seeing it across the country, and we need to be patient because these recorders are doing a very good job, and we just need to let them do their job.
Right, and that is another point that we want to make. Only they can say when all the ballots are counted and when those results are final. And so just appreciate your insight this morning, political polling expert Paul Bentz. Thanks for being with us again today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.